Now. Yay.
Hitting the button.
And the monkey hits the switch.
Right.
Monkey
All right.
pushes the button. One of my favorite lines from
Apollo
Lost in
13.
Space.
All
Oh,
right.
I thought that was. Oh, yeah, that was Lost in Space.
All right.
Major
let's
West.
go.
Hey, welcome to Fringeworthy, our actual play. This is Bruce Sheffer, your GM, and with us is Ken R&D with his head down, who plays Chen Wei. We have Chuck, who plays Mike. Thank you. Okay. Hey, we got Jason, who plays Jason.
He's not our most creative player.
He is, though.
Anyways, we have Kaitlin, who is playing Angel, and we have Pat, who is playing Gandalf. Welcome, everyone, and they are all together. They are Team 6, otherwise known as Team Banzai. And what's that?
Team 6.
Team 6.
6. That's what I just said. Okay.
Roman numerals.
Anyways, so everyone's touched their eyes.
I think we're good here.
And so we are on an alternate Earth, and possibly sussing out some salient facts about the Zamboni uplift, which has nothing to do with smoothing ice inside of a hockey rink. Instead, it is a gigantic worldwide project that lifted the oceans of the entire world all the way up, apparently almost somewhere around the neighborhood of the top of Mount Everest. So in order to create lots and lots of living space underneath, since oceans comprise, they keep changing the numbers. It's 70% of the surface of the world.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you want to know how they got to the Zamboni uplift Mount Everest control station, look at our previous video. But right now they have gone all the way up, taken the elevator up to the top, and seen the ocean from the top of Mount Everest. Had a little conversation with somebody who is one of the natives on floating islands that seem to go floating by the top of Everest. Had to wait out a storm for about a week that was before they could repair the elevator to come back down. And now they've come back down to the main control room, and that's where we're picking up our action.
Okay, now I remember we were going to look at some of the other floors and thought the elevator might go up to them, but I mean, I guess it didn't. So
yeah, we thought it might go down.
Are there stairs instead?
Yes, there are.
There are stairs that were on your floor, the floor plan that you did see.
So we should, if we want to see the other floors, we probably should try the stairs.
Well, we haven't looked at this floor entirely either, though.
Well, this floor
had admin offices and a machine shop or mechanical.
Like a really big machine shop, and of course the control room with the elevator. So, where do you guys want to go first?
Well, let's go to the admin site and see if we can find any documents or anything that we can maybe figure out.
Are there any parts the elevator might need that we could make in the machine shop?
Or spares?
Okay. Well, you'd have to have. I would say if you're going to do that, Ken, Chen Wei is going to have to spend some time in the machine shop, categorizing what can be made there, what stocks are available, and also spend some time in the elevator itself. You have spent a lot of time in the elevator, so I'll kind of give you a pass on that.
Help repair it. So
yeah, exactly. So, but you are going to have to go over to the machine shop. All you've done is look through the door and said, "Oh, look, that's a big machine shop in there."
Okay. First of all, like I know what parts I need for the elevator that are still bad, even though we replaced some stuff, right?
There is nothing that is, everything is repaired, though, it's not like it's fresh off the shelf pristine. You repaired stuff. You didn't replace stuff. So there's
Okay.
maybe there are replacement parts for the elevator on shelves and things like that. But I'm just saying the elevator worked. It got you all the way down, remember?
Okay.
All right.
You said something
All
about
right.
you thought we had a bad motor on it.
Yeah, well, one of the motors was definitely bad, and it could really use a full strip down and repair. So that one for sure. But that was the main thing that had happened. Basically, the teeth on that motor was the ones that had been kind of really messed up, and it kind of got wrenched sideways. And for a short period of time, only 3 of the motors were actually working, but they still worked. Okay. Now all the damage that was done to the sliding doors that separated the elevator from basically the top of the elevator shaft from the whole rest of it, that you again repaired, and you can't, you certainly can go ahead and try to make better repairs for those, because you know how well you did it. It worked when you used it. So again, it's not like it isn't working. It's just not pristine, shiny new like you might want it to be. Certainly, nothing in here is actually pristine, shiny new, because it's literally been 150, at least 150 years, if not 200 years, since it was last used, at least as far as you know.
Low,
That's a long
dusty, and
time.
used.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you're basically talking about what? Yeah. So basically, the end of the Civil War, to present day. No, so before that, before the Civil War, the time period before the Civil War to the present day, that much time has gone by since they last used this thing. So
That's not terribly good.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So if there's
Yeah.
then there still are rooms here. I'm gonna just look in the machine room for maybe like a minute or so, just to see generally what kind of stuff is there.
Sure. Okay. So you walk into the machine room. Okay. It's about, let's see here. I said about 40 feet, but that's probably not right. It's probably closer to 60 feet wide and at least 100 feet long. There is a whole lot, and the ceiling is at least 20, if not 30 feet high. There are a whole lot of hoist type things with chains and reduction type gearing. And right down the center of the floor, there seems to be a big hatch of some kind, whether it opens itself or whether you have to pull it open or whatever. But there's definitely some kind of an opening that looks like it goes down to another level. There are drill presses. There are metal shaving machines. There are things that look like they're induction furnaces for melting materials. There are some stocks of metals and wood and other things like that sitting around in bins and stuff. But it is very nice and clean. As I mentioned before, this place looks like everything was kind of put away and everybody left it. Okay, but unlike the rest of the world you've seen, it wasn't stripped of all materials that could be used elsewhere. This place looks like it was left in such a way that if someone wanted to come back and use it again, they could, without having to completely rebuild everything from the start. That doesn't mean there hasn't been corrosion and such.
Does it look like there's anything that's like futuristic? I mean, by IDET standards, not by my standards, in here, or is it all Earth tech?
Yeah. It is okay. Your knowledge of the Zamboni uplift occurred in the 1950s, and the technology you would not recognize the technology because you are from a different alternate. But for the rest of these people who are from Earth Prime, it does look very much like what you would imagine 1950s to look like. You know, some of the older buildings, pictures you might have seen in various documentaries and such. So it has a predominance of, you don't see anything. There are electronics in here, but they're kind of the kind of electronics that would mostly be, you know, resistors and wires and big switches and possibly some spinning governors and stuff like that. You don't see anything that's anywhere near like what you saw in Sanctuary City. That place was a super science wonderland, if you recall.
Sure was.
Okay? So this is antiquated according to your guys' tech level as on Earth Prime. All right, even before the IDET was formed. Okay, but it is.
Well, something. Well, they did have fusion reactors, though, which we don't have, and
Right.
They were able to launch the oceans into the sky, which we wouldn't have a clue how to do. So
that's correct.
Fairly amazing.
But that is the thing, which is the difference.
no,
So
that's
Yeah. It might have something to do with the fact that they had nearly 1 trillion people on the planet, and there are just more people around to invent things.
there's also the question of that apparently Zamboni used at least some, fringe crystals, and you can probably do weird stuff with it that you couldn't do with just 1950s stuff from the real 1950s.
That's true as well.
so we have 1950s science fiction is what we have.
As I mentioned, it looks an awful lot like the World of Tomorrow from Disney.
So we have like really bad animatronics guys.
So, Tomorrowland?
No, but you do have robots, that you can, like,
Beep, boop.
like the loader controls in Aliens. There are some things that clang, pick up, over, put down. Yeah, they got stuff like that in there. But what you don't see is you don't see any VR stuff like that.
And I wouldn't even see like a PC, or would I?
No, in this room, everything seems to be purpose built into the machinery itself. There are some scopes, like some like
oscilloscope.
Oh yeah, definitely those. But I'm just saying, is it like there might be actually like some kind of a primitive camera that could like zoom in on something to look for like how well you did a weld or something like that. Especially when it's on something that might be pretty big, you could just attach it to an arm and move it around and look at some stuff. And there might be a television screen that it was slave to. Okay, but it's again, it's that RCA type technology.
Okay.
Well, next room, I guess.
It's not feeding someplace off of your IP technology. It's probably quite a bit more primitive than that. Something closer to a Rapinet.
Yeah, well,
for those of us who know what that is. So that's what you see, Chen Wei. All right. So and like I said, you didn't spend any time in there, so you really don't know much. You don't know even how to turn anything on. Though there's of course there's a big switch to flick things on.
Yeah, I'm sort of afraid that if I do that, there'll be other things that have also broken in the past 150 years.
Very likely.
I flipped the switch.
Okay. Well, like I say, it lights up. You hear
I get
some
out
humming.
of the room.
Okay, Jason, give me a luck check.
I can do that. Because they call me Lucky Stan, the used car man.
All right, cool.
Well, they don't, but I just did.
Alrighty.
I got a 1.
But you're not a they. You're a
Okay.
one person.
So there's a big switch over on the side, like you use to for your air conditioning, and basically there's a big
Chunk.
big basically there's a flare of sparks comes out of it, and greasy smoke starts rising up toward the ceiling.
Cool.
I think that fuse blew.
It looks that way.
I concur.
Okay, give me another luck roll.
Does the building burst into flames and we all die? I got a 5.
Apparently nothing's on fire. At least nothing you can see.
Meanwhile, inside the walls, we're all dying.
It's like that that fuse in Mission Impossible.
Right.
You're
Along
killing
the wall.
the
I do
rash.
suggest that you turn it off before we try the next room.
Well, the fuse is already
Okay.
blown, so.
Okay, Buzzkill.
Well, it doesn't mean there isn't power going to other places in the room. Just the fuse over there blew. So yeah. Anyways, okay, so there you are. You already had some lights came on, like the exit lights, and nothing's been.
Did those? Did they?
Yeah.
Did when I flipped the switch and it blew whatever it did? Did anything come on and then something go out, or did they all go out, or did nothing ever come on?
Nothing ever actually came on because
Okay.
power may be going to various things, but nothing seemed to start up on its own. Nobody left anything running when you left, which of course makes sense.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's more likely that something basically made a cold weld that it shouldn't have, and power managed to bridge something. Probably something that used a lot of amps.
Yep.
We can track it down.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, but like I said, there were already some emergency lights that were on. You haven't seen any real indication that they have any kind of battery power in here. So so you don't have lights when bad things happen. There may be lights that happen later when things get charged up, but now of course it's been some time. You've been spent a while, so maybe there are. I would say I'm going to take that back and say, there's a couple of lights that seem to have come on when that happened. Okay, but some of them that are obviously emergency lights did not come on. So there might be a reason for that. Again,
was it in the ceiling, or do I know where the spark came from? Can I find it?
It was over on the side. Like I said, it was one of those switches.
Panel.
Well, it was, like I said, it was on the wall, a whole bunch of things where you might, switch the power on and off.
Mm-hmm.
It looks an awful lot like, maybe it was over by the induction furnace.
So, can I figure out what blew?
You can if you want to go over there and work on it, but I
will do that and go see what's what and make sure nothing's on fire and nothing's
okay.
continuing to.
All right.
I'm assuming if it's the 50s, they use those big metal capped paper fuses or something like that. Maybe it's something
they
like
sure
that.
did.
I will go assist him.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make your repair check.
Repper. D10. Need one of those. Repair. Here's a D10. Here's a D10. I roll them 6.
A 6? Okay.
A 6.
All right. And what did you roll?
My 6 exploded to an 11.
Okay.
Oh, well.
All right. Well, since I think you were assisting him, that would give you a
Yes.
+2, which gives it an 8, which means that you now have a successful raise. All right. That was good. Okay. So basically, you pull this thing open. It's really scorched inside. whatever wiring diagram was on the inside has been cooked. It looks pretty much like it has, even though there was a fuse there, it looks like it's still kind of melted the fuse insides, the contacts and things like that. So you're looking at it going, yeah, we really probably just should replace the whole thing. But the power, looking at it, goes to the lathe. So not the lathe, the induction furnace. So, and you estimate it probably was pulling around 200 amps.
So that's a lot.
Is it cold in here?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, it's cold.
What if we shut off the induction furnace, the breaker
it's
on
off.
it? Oh, it shouldn't have drawn
off,
power.
right? Yeah. It's so and of course there's live power still going to the box, but it's currently not getting out of the box to the induction furnace, which is what blew. So it did its job, but it did it kind of destructively.
Okay, so if I shut off the big switch, and tell Mike to use his little glove and see if there's power running through this.
Okie dokie.
Use the glove, Luke.
All right, I don the glove and head in.
Okay. All right, so you turn the power. You turn the power off, and there's no power going to it. You turn the power on, then there's power going to the box, but not inside the box where it basically just fused.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I communicate that over to Jason.
Can we? Is it safe to work on?
I mean, it's if you turn the power off, yes, it would be safe to work on.
Sure,
okay, so we turn the power off.
Yeah.
And I'll start cranking on the fuse to take it apart.
Okay, that's not going to work. As I just told you, you basically this fuse box has basically been destroyed. So what you need to do is either you're going to, I mean, there's two possibilities. Okay, one is you could take another fuse box off of another unit. Okay, that might be close in the amperage it's using, and use it instead, like maybe one of the lathes, which probably isn't use that much power. But anyways, maybe one of the big.
I mean, we're in a parts room. Maybe there's an extra fuse box somewhere.
Well, there may be, or maybe it's somewhere else. So.
Okay, let's start looking.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a luck check at a -2.
All right. I'm unlucky, and I roll a 4 minus 2 is 2.
At least he admits it.
Well, I've got the bad luck. Mike has the bad luck this head.
I have I have a 2 as well. 2 minus 2.
So there doesn't appear to be a replacement fuse box, in this room. Looking around, however, there are stairs that are going down on the wall. So maybe there's another place where there might have something like that.
All right.
To the stairs, Rapunzel.
To the stairs. All right. So is anybody okay? So is it Jason, Mike, everybody but you, Angel, going to the stairwell?
Oh,
yeah.
The stair?
I'm going with.
Okay.
Going to the stairwell and
so you go over the stairs, okay, and you start going down the stairs, and you go down a fair distance. Okay, this is basically the stairwell is obviously been carved into the rock, and bolted, with big bolts, into the rock itself. And so you're going down this metal staircase down. It is it's might be slightly slippery, considering, but you go down and it goes through another door and another latch, hatch you can pull open, and inside you see what appears to be a really big warehouse, at least as big as the floor above, with like shelves going up and just filled with stuff.
I feel like I'm in Costco.
Yeah, and fortunately, across the way from you appears to be a card catalog, if you know what that is.
Oh,
Do
yes.
you
Sorry,
know
is
the
this-
Dewey Decimal System?
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
yes,
is this
I
a
do.
library in the early 2000s?
Earlier than that.
I only remember it in the early 2000s, so.
Okay, right.
Remember
So
this from
there does appear to be a
junior
card
high school.
catalog.
Oh, all right.
And,
Very good.
So,
I didn't, so.
do you wish to use it, or do you just peruse the shelves?
We're going to use the card catalog.
It's been a
Oh, what's
long
so
time.
fun
I
in
hope
that?
I remember.
Okay. All right. Well, this is this card catalog is alphabetical, but the question is, do you know which words in which order they should be? So I will give somebody a research check to try to figure this out.
I know
not
I don't.
something I know
so,
about. I do not know the research.
So in that case, I'm just gonna wander, if that's all right with it. If that's all right.
Okay, have
Sure.
fun.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
go
this
wander.
is a big warehouse. And by the way, you're so you go wandering around and you see, like, screws and bolts and light bulbs and faucets and toilet seats and toilets themselves. You see you also see like big like 144 roll cases of toilet paper.
Anybody need some toilet paper?
Yeah, anybody got the runs? Yeah.
Do run, run, run.
And
Run.
an equal size one. This is shop towels. Okay.
Anybody?
Never used, written in big bold letters inside of it.
Makes me question: did they sell used ones too?
Ew.
They used to.
All right then.
True story here. They used to use used towels until it turned out that there was a residue on one of the towels that didn't come out in the cleaning process, and it combined with something that somebody was using, and all of a sudden their hands started melting. And
What when
that
that happened?
This happened in the chemical industry.
And,
and so they decided after that, no, they would only use towels that were made from fresh rags.
Okay then.
I know. I know on the Coral Sea there was a sign in the head: "Conserve toilet paper. Use both sides." So we did.
At least it didn't say wipe your friend first.
Oh yeah. Well, if there was enough too, sure, yeah.
Buddy wipe. I got a 6 on my research roll, which there actually isn't a research skill.
There isn't?
Oh yeah, there is. Well, I looked at the skill list and there's no research on there, but
there isn't. Okay.
I believe it would be.
Right.
No.
I guess it would again fall under notice. So some of the things fall under notice. I don't like that. But okay.
All right. Hulk smash.
All right. Anyways, so yeah, you kind of go through this and you try a couple of times and you successfully find this one that says fuse box to 200 amps, single throw, and it basically gives you gives you a row and bin number, and it also has a little thing that says uses 100 amp fuses, and it gives you a row and bin number for that as well.
Okay.
Okay. Right. I'll yell it out to the people that are currently wandering the rows.
Oh, okay.
Those that walk behind the rows.
Angel, what do you want to try to find? You looking for the fuse, or you looking for the box?
I'm gonna go with the box.
Okay, give me a notice check.
I don't know what that was that just fell. Probably a dice, but it's not the dice I'm wanting. No.
All right, very good.
It was cheese.
It was not cheese. That will be a 9, my sir.
Okay. You find the bin, and there is one fuse box in it.
Woohoo! Found a
One
box.
flying, one each. Okay. And what about fusos?
Okay, someone looking for fuses. Okay, that would be Gandalf. Gandalf, give me a notice check.
Whenever Angel comes back with it, she's just holding above her head like, wee.
Hey, you
I
found
win
a
the
fuse
game.
box. Good job.
We won Fringeworthy.
That would be a total of a 10. I had a die 6 explode.
Oh, look at you. You seem to really have sussed out how these things are. So you find the bin where they are. By the way, it's in the same area as other fuses. It's not like these are shotgun through the place. There seems to be some sense of order to this. And there are three 200 amp fuses, in a box that says 10.
Well, I found 3 of the fuses.
Good, very good.
How many do you need?
Well, you need one for sure. How many are you going to burn out before you actually get it to work?
I'm going to bring the box over to them with me.
Okay, all 3 of them, huh? Okay.
We have 3.
Next person who tries to use it is like, where the hell is this box? It's right here. It's supposed to be there.
Who's the next person? Where did they come from?
Right.
It's the backup that came to help Mike.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
All right. So you now have a box, and you now have 3 fuses for it.
Okay.
All right. Now we get to go to the zoo.
All right. So now
So let's. I'm gonna go.
Fix it?
Well, I want to go up and look at the furnace and figure out why it tripped the breaker. Did a ice mouse chew through the wiring? Did it? I don't know. What caused it to trip? I guess.
Apparently, you are absolutely correct. Apparently, there was a mouse that had made its little nest in there in the nice warm fuse box, and had died from the cold, and its little mousy carcass had basically just fallen onto the fuse with the 2 things, and when you put the power through, it was just a little mousy barbecue.
Oh, yum.
I give it to Kaitlin.
Yeah.
Why me?
Because you like furry things.
There's a blackened little skull he's handing to you, Angel.
Cool.
Kind of crispy.
Would anyone believe me if I told you this is not the first time this has happened to me?
Wait.
Yeah, I'll believe you.
I have a skull.
Oh,
here.
thank you. Because it is true.
Carburetor once.
I have a skull. It's a human.
Yeah.
It's a human-shaped one, but it's a skull.
Cool. Amazing what you find in a Polish factory.
That's right.
Would it be weird if I did this?
So, anyways, it's going to involve. Yeah, so it's going to involve a lot of you're going to have to cut. You have to cut this thing free. You're going to do some wire stripping. You're going to have to clamp some stuff in there. You might have to go get some more wire, to if it's not long enough, or just move it a little bit. Anyways,
okay.
So it's not that big of a deal once you've done what you've already done. You get it all done and put the.
Hey man, I built a spaceship.
The fuse just doesn't really want to seem to get in there, but you get it in there. Okay, there is a light patina of corrosion on everything, but it seems a little
WD-40 will take care of that.
I was going to say a little scrubbing with a wire brush seems to.
Oh, that too.
Wire brush would be better.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Make the metal part shiny before you do
wire
that.
brush, little dielectric grease.
Yeah. Right. Okay, and so anyways, Mike, you kind of used your little handy thing to go and do what you need to do and shove that thing in there, and it's time to try it, I guess.
All right, okay. Give me amps.
Firing photon torpedoes. Click.
All right.
That's a Star Trek reference.
More like a lever. Okay, and then the lights come back up. because you turned the power back on and nothing else seems to explode or catch on fire. Now, do you wish to attempt to operate the furnace?
Fire the Piet. Yes, we'll fire up the furnace. We'll try to operate the furnace.
I'll monitor.
Okay. All right. It basically has a dial that basically says temperature, and it has a button that basically says power. Or it would say power if it hadn't peeled off long ago, but it's pretty obvious. There's not a whole lot of things this thing does.
All right.
So,
15
I got the
Celsius is
power,
pretty
and I hit the button.
Let's try that.
you hit the button, okay, and you hear a hum sound, and you see a thermometer gauge begin to slowly rise, and
Give my creature life.
yes.
Angel said she's very comfortable at 15 Celsius.
Okay. And it doesn't get very high, okay, because
it wouldn't. No, up here, no.
Well, it doesn't get very high, and if you open it up, you see that there's no metal container in the thing that's actually sitting next to the furnace. You basically have to take some stock, put it in the metal container, then take that, lower it down in between the coils so the induction can start heating things up.
Oh, okay, shut it off.
All right.
I pushed the power button. Never mind. Leave it alone. I'm going to push the power button.
Okay.
Turn it off, and then we'll put the plenum chamber in there or whatever the hell.
Something. A light comes up saying, "Don't push this power button again."
Well,
all right.
It's bossy.
Okay. So, are you going to try to melt something?
Melt something?
It's a furnace. It's an induction.
Oh, furnace. It's to. I thought it was like a heat furnace.
It's not like temperature of the room.
Like a forge furnace then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's why it uses so much power.
Okay. My character was going, why wouldn't it get warmer? It's supposed to be a furnace.
Yeah. Believe me, you put some stuff in there, it will get warmer.
Okay, my bad. I was thinking it was something. I thought it was a heat type producing furnace for like.
You were looking for high vac. You're looking for high vac. Yeah. Okay. That's not here. There are obviously there's like venting and stuff, like big vents with a big circle, concentric circles inside of it. So it looks like
I blame Gandalf for not telling me it was a blacksmithing like forge type furnace.
Yeah. By the way, when you guys are running around inside,
there
actually was another staircase that you guys saw.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Where was that?
It was in there somewhere. There was actually, there were two. There was a staircase and there was a door on one end of it. So
where the hell was that at? I don't recall that.
It was in the warehouse. I didn't mention it at the time because you were interested in finding things. Okay, so I just thought I'd tell you that now. Where
does that? All right. Well, okay. So we now have power running to the.
Now, was that
the machine room, right?
In the middle of the floor?
Yeah.
And so there was a hatch. Is that what you were talking about?
There was a staircase that has a hatch on it. You go down the staircase, and there was another hatch, which you then opened, and you were in the warehouse.
Okay.
Okay. So you found two more hatches in there. There's one, one relatively close to the stairwell that you went down, and then there was another one all the way at the far end of the warehouse.
Uh-huh.
You didn't see one at the other end, just on one end.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, do you wish to do anything about that now, or go over to the?
My point was I wanted to get power going to the machine room.
Right. Well, you definitely have power going to the machine room.
Okay, so we're good there.
You turned the big switch on, power was flowing out, but then it went and blew one of the...
Right, so we had to basically fix it so that the blast furnace was no longer doing whatever it's doing.
Right.
Okay, so we're good to go there.
As far as you know, the rest of the machinery in there is working, but you haven't tried any of them, so you don't know there might be some other.
So there's another stairway in the mechanical room that goes somewhere else, or there's a stairway in the warehouse that goes somewhere else?
There's a stairway. Okay, there is a door in the warehouse that you think is a stairway. Okay. It might just be to another room. Okay, there's another door. So there's one near the one that you just went down, the stairwell you just went down. There's another one on the end of the warehouse that might go to, again, go to a stairwell, or it might go to another room.
You guys want to go check downstairs for more stairs?
You want to keep working on that side?
Yeah, and Gandalf say yay.
Okay, so
Kaitlin
which one do you want to do? You want to do?
Well, let's open the door next to the door to the stairwell coming down to the warehouse, since it's right there, and we'll look in there. Is it another stairwell going down?
It's another stairwell, yes.
Well, let's do that one first, since we're right here.
All right.
Yay.
Okay, so you go down the stairwell, and there's another door.
Yeah.
Which again, it's all these are hard to open. Well, I mean, they all have lots and lots of grease around them, but the grease is dried and cakey. But you can get it to work. You know, you're getting like piles of bits of dried grease all over the place. Anyways, open the door, and by the way, you can hear a humming sound, like a vibration coming from this door as you're opening it. All right. So you can open it?
Yes.
All right, you open the door. And right in front of you, you see a miniature version of that giant fusion reactor you guys had so much fun with right outside of Vinicki Nose Grove. And it is on.
Baby reactor.
It is a baby version of so in other words, a mini fusion reactor, but mini is always a relative term. So, it's a good 20 feet high.
Okay, so it's still too big for us to just like take it home to IDET.
It won't fit in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We put it in the portable hole.
Right. And it has a lot of wires coming out to it, going to these big, transformer type things, and there's a bunch of wires that are also coming into it. So, there are also other big machinery in here which do not look like they are turned on. Okay, one of them looks an awful lot like high-vac, which is another term, for those of you not familiar, another term for heating and cooling. So there's like a big furnace there. All right.
And that's not on.
It's not currently on, no.
I will look at it and see if it looks suitable to turn on.
Sure, give me a repair check. I'm assuming you're not just going to go over and hit the on button.
No.
There's a switch. Yeah. And you're going to see a lot of switches. After a while, you're going to start saying they did this because they didn't think that push buttons might work after who knows how many years.
Yeah.
Switches always seem to work. So meanwhile, Angel is being mauled.
Oh my God! Somebody send out the National Guard.
Something from Boston Dynamics suddenly leaps out of the cubbyhole and starts mauling Angel.
Oh my God! We kill it with fire.
It's rampaging too. That's what it's doing.
Okay, so you go and flick the put the lever up, okay, and you get a hum, and then you get a.
It's gonna blow.
And you start hearing, like a blast of air, going through, and and there's also a big dial on there that basically has temperature markings painted on, and stuff, so you can adjust the temperature as you think best. There's also
Mike, what is 15 degrees centigrade in freedom units?
59.
Oh, that's a little chilly.
I haven't heard that term, but I believe you.
Okay, so I set it for balmy 65 degrees.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
it's currently around 40 degrees in here.
Oh, yeah, that's chilly.
Yeah.
Not as cold as outside, but
Definitely not as
Yes.
cold as outside. All right. So,
Okay.
and like I said, you're not going to hear. There's not any sound, like gas, like It seems you're pretty much convinced that everything in this place,
Is
unless
electric.
you run, is electric. Like essentially anything big. Now
Mhm.
there might very well be some cutting cylinders and things like that, in the machine shop above you.
Well,
But
if you have a, well, it could be plasma cut. Well, it would still need some sort of air, but if you have a fusion reactor, you've got kind of unlimited power. So, yeah, it would be electrical.
yeah. So, anyways, so down here, see, I have a for this. We have, come on, where is it? I put the note there. Okay. There seems to be something having to do with, there seems to be like a big boiler and a lot of machinery attached to it, that with a lot of piping involved. Okay. There are, of course, ginormous electrical boxes down here in comparison to what you saw before. There is something, it looks an awful lot like, it actually looks an awful lot like some kind of a, like a, I'm sorry, I lost the term. It's cable junction box.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so and that's coming out of a conduit and goes to this big box, and from there it goes to other things. Okay. There is also a really there's a strange, well, it's a strange thing. You're not quite sure what it is. It's a weird combination of all kinds of strangely misshapen metals and things like that all together in a big box that looks like it's been put here. It was wheeled. It looks like it can be attached to things and carried about, and it's got electrical connections to it. But it looks like it's a piece of something that doesn't fit anything in this room.
Is there a note on the box or saying, spare parts or something?
On the box itself,
Yeah.
it's well, give me a luck check. Again, one of the big problems I have is that lots of stuff that might actually be there might have disappeared over time.
6.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, it looks an awful lot like something that says it actually says something like Zamboni actuator concentrator.
Interesting.
Actuator concentrator.
Yes.
I guess it's a part that he had. It's Data Buddy. In those maps that I look at, did they have parts on them which said Zamboni activator concentrator? I mean the diagrams that I looked at.
Okay, now where were you looking at these diagrams?
It's somewhere. There was maybe it was just maps. I'm not sure.
There was a drawer full of maps that was upstairs in the control room.
So those are just maps. They don't have like diagrams.
And he goes
stuff.
and says, yeah. And he basically says, yes. There were, roll a number here. Okay, there were approximately, of the maps you looked at, there were 9,000 locations indicating Zamboni actuators.
Oh, so
Wow.
these are all over the world then?
I don't know the answer to that question. The maps weren't clear about that.
Oh.
They had a lot of, you know, it's not capable of doing that kind of analysis without more context.
Mm. Okay, it still seems like they probably means that they are all over the world. So if these are the things he's got to put around in order to make the water go up or stay up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyways, looking at it, it's an awful lot like some kind of weird microwave / laser type device with a lot of solid state circuits in with it.
Do they have fringe crystals in it?
You don't see anything that looks like a fringe crystal, no. I mean, nothing that's got the standard, pyramidal shape or anything like that.
How big are they?
This thing?
Yeah.
It looks to be around, it's about 3 feet wide.
So we could take it, and we probably should, but it'd be really awkward.
Well, how much does it weigh, Chen Wei?
Yeah.
I don't know. How much does it weigh?
It itself weighs approximately 300 pounds.
Ow.
And it's got like some, like a big power connector thing on the side, like you'd use, like, we had a substation or something like that.
Alrighty.
Yeah. And that also, by the way, does match, as you, from your previous experience, match to like some of the power outputs that were coming from the nuclear power, the fusion power plant over at Veliki Novus Grove. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
it looks like you could plug this into the fusion power plant.
Yes. It's not currently plugged into it, but it looks like it definitely could be plugged into the nuclear power plant.
Well, we don't want to push around the water and possibly disturb it.
I'd say until we find out more about it, we should probably just note that it's there and.
Yeah. I mean, you do see cables like that plugged into the nuclear power plant, by the way, and some of them are snaking into walls. Some of them are going up to the ceiling, so I'm just saying this one right here seems like it's been left alone.
I'll take a couple pictures of it.
Okay. Yeah. It definitely looks like there's supposed to be more connectors on the top side of it, electrical connectors. Yeah.
All right. Whatever this thing is, it has something to do with Zamboni's work.
Right. Okay.
Well, when I read the biography of Zamboni, were connectors like this mentioned? Or was it more a life?
It wasn't tactical like that. I mean, mostly what they talked about was the Zamboni effect.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
It was written for general audience kind of thing.
Darn.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you're in the right place to find out. I mean, as in this entire place would be a good place to find out more detailed information.
Right.
Especially the stuff that Chen Wei was looking at.
I'm gonna I'm gonna monkey with the boiler unit.
Okay.
And is it not powered on then?
It is not currently powered on.
Does it look like it should be powered on?
Well, I mean,
Is it like decrepit and all rusty and corroded, or is it?
It looks like it's in working condition, but again, it's got that, it's covered over with a crusty layer of
Oxidation.
Well, not oxidation.
Grime?
Oxidation. Like lard.
Oh, it's got grease.
Yes, it's been all these things have been greased down, to
Break out the wire brush and clear it off.
Okay, because some. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, it's some of it is. It looks like it's been done that way for protective reasons. But yeah,
Right.
if you want to tear it off around joints and things like that,
right.
I suppose you can. But anyways,
I want to clean it so it'll get a good clean contact, and then I'll turn it on.
Okay, well that would be in where the power goes into it and stuff like that. If you want to pull open some panels and start getting into the power connectors and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, you might want to go to the wall and the main power breakers out of the wall.
Okay.
There's two types of power breakers. There's ones that go if it gets overloaded for some reason. There's another kind that is literally there to eliminate power. Okay, it's like when a
resistor.
No, it's not a resistor. It's literally a connector that, like, let's say your house was on fire. And the firemen want to go in, but they don't want to get electrocuted by spraying water everywhere and stuff like that. They go over to someplace on your house, and there's this panel that they can just grab a hold of and just yank these things out, and it basically breaks all the connections between the main power, and everything else. So, and especially units that have like a lot of power going to them. So it basically is a connection, not connection kind of thing. There's a term for it that I don't remember, but anyways, it's literally, I think maybe the term breaker box comes from it.
Right.
Yeah, the breaker box comes from fuse box.
Right. See, a fuse is there to handle going over the amount of pole.
Over amperage, right.
This is actually basically designed to stop any power from going to it. I mean, because sometimes
it's a kill switch, a lockout.
Yeah, but it's a fast kill switch. I mean, there's the ones where you can pull the things down, but are you really sure it did the job? But if you pull this thing out, there's no connection between these contacts that you just pulled.
It's the main breaker. It's the main.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so those things are there. So you can basically do those and things, and yeah, you can get the turn on the thing, and you do that, and lights come on, and you start getting like a flow, and basically you'll start getting a GPS flow, which do you understand what that means in terms of what we're talking about?
No, I do not know what a GPS flow is.
GPS in terms of plumbing means gallons per second.
Oh, okay. I was thinking electrical for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know GPS and electrical.
This machine obviously is
moving water.
Fluid. Yeah, probably water. Okay. And it looks like these tanks are about half empty. Okay, so is there
a way to fill the tanks?
You don't. There is a place where water looks like it comes in and it goes, but it goes up into the wall somewhere, and you don't know where the other end goes to.
Okay.
All right. So if there's a source of additional water, you don't know where it is.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Meanwhile, somewhere the atomic thing needs a flip switch that goes and slowly melts a glacier or something.
Yeah, well, if there were any glaciers, so that's a good question. At one time, there might have been. You know? So, anyways, but yeah, you can basically, over time, you'll start seeing the boiler start to tick up in temperature. And yes, you can adjust the temperature to where you want it to be.
Okay.
It's currently set to probably 100 degrees.
Okay.
Because it is a boiler.
I will leave it as it is.
Okay. And anyways, but mostly what you're hearing is the sound of water moving. Okay, and
in case we want to shower later, you know.
Yeah, right. So you might also want to turn on the outflow if you want water to go anywhere.
Okay. Do that.
Okay.
Clunk.
Yeah.
Why did that sound just be so funny?
I don't know. I'm picturing turning like a wheel.
Right. So basically, like I say, and that's pretty much what you see in this room. Okay.
All right.
There's a lot of really big things in this room. Okay, and there is a big door on one end
of this room.
Yes, of this room.
Oh, another door. What's behind that door?
And it's a big door.
What's behind door number 3 then?
Okay. All right, so you can go over there and work those doors and get them open. All right.
Yep.
Pull that open, and you see a large. You see a large open area that has a lot of staining on the floor, and there is a whole lot of stuff along the walls that, well, I mean, that looks an awful lot like they're mechanical parts that make you, and there's a big pile of things that look an awful lot like tires, and you think that this possibly is some kind of a garage.
I was about to say, so we either found a garage or a butcher shop.
A butcher shop?
Staining on the floor was what?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what gave me the idea of butcher shop. Before the great voice in the sky decided to elaborate.
I got you. All right. So is it empty or just?
Well,
some tires.
It is empty unless somebody wants to play their card.
No, do we want to find a vehicle in here, guys?
Wouldn't kill us.
Yeah, well, it might.
Then just for that, I will play my card to say that there is a useful conveyance in this room.
What? Okay, but you need to describe it, Kaitlin. What is the useful conveyance that you think would be in this room?
I'm not.
Let's see. We're up on a mountain.
It's the Wright Brothers airplane.
Say we could always have another saucer.
I would really appreciate you not saying that there's another saucer.
It would make sense. I mean, the things are obviously spread all over the place.
Yeah, keep in mind the fact that it doesn't look like anybody's been in this place since around 1950. So whatever useful conveyance you find in here, I think should be informed by that. What do you want? What do you wish to see?
I don't know. Can guys, what do you want to see? I really don't know.
Well, do they have do they have anti-gravity here? I mean, they didn't have, really small scale, but
anti-gravity. The ocean is literally in the sky.
Right, but it's only on a big scale. I'm not sure they have anti-gravity that's small enough they can put it in vehicles, because we didn't really see any of that.
Well, my question is, why would you need a vehicle hangar, motor pool, whatever, in a mountain that's thousands of feet up in the air?
Well,
So it's going to have to be some sort of.
People have to get there, right?
Yeah, but it's not
What
like
about
they
a
just drive up
jetpack?
Mount Everest.
What about a jetpack?
Could be a helo.
Maybe a helicopter would probably even have some trouble at that altitude. Some sort of plane, I guess.
Not a gyro.
You need more air resistance than you would have.
Maybe another fringe crystal powered thing, like where our crystal, brought us all here. Maybe there's something which uses fringe crystals to move it in other places.
Apparently, it's Caitlin's card, so I think Kaitlin should describe whatever she
Yes, go Kaitlin.
is here.
That's why I asked them, because I genuinely don't know.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
what would float your boat if you came in here and saw something?
An ocean.
There is an ocean. There is an ocean at the top of an elevator shaft in this place.
Yeah, but it won't really float your boat. I mean, I guess depends on how shallow your boat is.
I'm not
bunch of
telling you
parents.
what I'm just saying there are some options.
Okay, Bruce, I'm making a joke on the phrase "float your boat," and you seem to have missed it.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Just because people have to be able to get up here, I'm going to say words are hard. Some kind of some kind of airplane. Damn it, words are hard.
Okay, so there's some kind of airplane.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got some kind of a prop airplane, I assume. Okay, and because of where it is, it probably you might notice that there's also some JATO units in this garage that could be attached to said plane that could actually be able to get this thing somehow launched away from the mountains so it could kind of like pick up some speed and actually fly. The problem is, of course, is that you're looking and you see a big rock wall on one side and you don't see any way out of this room. But that
it's going to be really hard to get up the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, consider how did they put it in here? There must be some place where it can fly in, because they wouldn't put it here by disassembling it and taking the pieces through the doors.
Right. So
it's an airplane in a bottle.
You guys want to come in here and maybe examine the a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll wander around.
Like I said, there's lots of stuff in here that would be useful for doing maintenance on vehicles.
In this case, maintenance on an airplane.
Right. And there does seem to be some kind of a big big push button control panel over on one side.
Someone want to push the button, see what it does?
Any markings on that button?
It looks like there's an arrow going one direction and an arrow going the other direction.
It says eject.
Oh.
It's the big red button.
Well, going like right and left, or
more like up and down. And of course, there's the big power button, the big power switch.
Oh, what the hell? I'll push the up button.
Okay, nothing happens.
Hello, Fringe Cat.
Perhaps you'd like to turn on the power switch first.
And turn on the power switch.
Maybe we don't want
All right.
the power on yet. Who knows?
Okay, you hit. You turn the button. You hear a clack, and the power turns off.
Look, we broke it.
I think maybe we blew a fuse.
Another one?
Tripped a breaker.
Yikes. All right. Let's
Look
look around,
for
see what
anything
happens.
that would have
Well, when I
changed.
say the power turns on, I mean the humming stops.
All right.
Okay. There's still power going. There's still power going to the switch.
Okay.
So you want to try the downward one?
I'll hit the down button then.
Okay, you hit the down button, okay, and you hear this clack, 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 clack sound. Yeah. And you see that the wall is going down, and it keeps doing that. And after about a minute, suddenly the air in the room starts rushing out because there's like now an opening at the top, and
okay.
You might want to go over and close one of those the blast door you just came through.
That sounds like
Okay.
a plan.
The air pressure just dropped. And by the way, unless you guys have environmental suits or things like that,
run back through.
There's a very strong feeling that you may be, you may be running into, there's a light that comes up, and it basically has a hard to read thing below it, but something about O2 level, and it shows it down on the end of the SWAT thing, and so anyways,
push the other button.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Give me a
I'll hit the other button.
give me a notice check, Angel.
I suppose it would help if I'm unmuted.
I can hear you.
If you say so.
Ah.
If I was muted.
Hey.
That would be an 8.
8. You actually could see the vehicle you came in, just the very bottom of it. Up on its little legs. Remember its little legs? You got to see those pads right before these guys did what they're doing right now, which is to go and hit the up button, and
Hello,
at which point it
containment
goes
vehicle.
and clack, clack, and basically it shuts itself off, and you have to press the button again, and it starts going back up again. So basically, by the time this thing goes back up again, you now have it's the air is pretty rarefied in here.
Hello, containment vehicle. That we hijacked.
Very good.
So apparently that whole landing thing comes down, possibly even with this garage.
Wow.
Cool.
So maybe things that are in this garage could be moved out on the landing pad, the big landing
Like a
pad,
carrier deck.
and then it rises back up again. But the problem right now, of course, is that the air is bad. However, Mike, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a notice check.
I be rolling. Let's see. D12
See
plus
it
12
rolling.
here.
They keep aiding.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, D8. 6.
Okay, you see what appears to be emergency tanks over on one wall with like a goggle kind of thing.
Okay, all right. Let's I head over to them and say, we got oxygen over here, guys.
I've already run out of the room.
I've called you a chicken for it. So
and close the door behind him. soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Anybody
I
want
just-
anybody want to run over and maybe grab some oxygen? Because, like I said, unless you have it available to you, your guys are breathing really rarefied air right now.
I thought we were still in environmental.
I'm still wearing my environmental suit. I don't maybe put my helmet
I
on,
didn't
but
take mine off.
Well, then I guess you're going to want to put that helmet on, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna
put your
put
helmet
my
on, Tom Doyle.
suit
Tom
and
Doyle.
helmet on, and I'll come back.
All right.
Okay. Is there anybody who wasn't in his environmental suit?
Well, I had assumed that I wasn't, which is why I ran out of the room.
Okay. Is there anybody else who wasn't in their environmental suit?
I don't remember taking it off, so I still had
Okay.
it on.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
I'm
you
gonna,
definitely
I'm gonna
want to
try one of those.
pop that thing back on, that helmet
All
back
right.
on, and get some air going, because
All right,
there
we'll
was
do that
definitely
then.
a drop in pressure, and you know that the amount of air was pretty damn low. I mean, oxygen level was really low up when you first got here.
Sure.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, you want to you now have sussed out the mystery of how an airplane inside this hangar can get out out of the apparently closed box garage that it was in. there is some kind of a lift on the outside for that purpose.
Okay, all right.
Yay, mystery solved.
Yeah.
Solving the mystery. Achievement unlocked.
All right, very good.
All
Reaching
right.
the top of the mountain. Achievement unlocked.
Achievement unlocked.
Right. And you're happy to know that there actually seems to be supplies of oxygen that they were, in this particular place that seems to be readily exposed to the outside for one reason or another. There is a fair amount of corrosion on the rotating taps on these things, so you might need, if you want to make sure they all work when you need them, you might want to do some work on them to clean them up a bit, get them back into.
Definitely start doing some corrosion control here.
Yeah, there's a lot of corrosion in this place because it's been a very long time since anybody's been here. I've mentioned this a number of times now, and you really need to take. You never know when something's going to fail you, because who knows? There might be a dead mouse in it. It could be, it could be a cold weld that just doesn't want to let go. It could be anything.
Sure.
All right. Anyways,
if we find 2 more dead mice, I can make earrings out of it.
Yeah. Some of
Could
that
be a wampa.
some of that rubber insulation may have disintegrated, and now you have wires touching each other.
Oh, that's a lot. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there's lots of things that can go wrong here. All right, so that was
Could be a Yeti.
So this was the big garage. Looked like it, had the ability to handle multiple vehicles and things like that. There's lots of tools in here. There's definitely compressors for using those air hammer type things and stuff like that. So it's anybody who's actually worked in a military motor pool would basically look around and say, yeah, this place, big racks of wrenches on them, things like that.
Yep, that's definitely Mike.
And lots of cans of lubricants, and like I said, there's a bunch of tires that look like they're just piled up, and like I said, they're going to be in various states of. I mean, they're in the cold, so they may be fine. I don't know. I don't know how well tires last. And you just leave them alone and leave them in a cold room. I've been told that that the tire attached to the back of my Toyota RAV is untrustworthy, even though it's never been used, because it's 10 years old.
Well, I can tell you that the tires on my utility trailer, which have been on there since 2004, so that's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, it has been 20 years now. Worked just fine, and I towed the trailer all the way to Colorado. So and then it went all the way to Missouri. So yeah,
it had not been used for 20 years.
Well, I had loaded stuff up in it and drug it around, but it's been basically my mobile storage unit for all that time.
I think the point that the people were trying to tell me was the fact they had not been used at all is one reason why they were unreliable.
It sat in my driveway, exposed to the elements. So
right,
it was fine.
Did you use it from time to time?
No, I mean literally in the 10 years that I've lived here, I pulled it into the driveway and left it there.
Yeah. Well, that was my point of view, and they all were saying no.
Yeah, well, that's because they
50, 60, 70 miles an hour with this.
You can get a flat tire, but you can do that with a new tire as well. So
yeah. Anyways,
they will if they're not cracked, then it's pretty much okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so that's where you are here. You haven't seen any more stairwells, by the way, in either the big utility room or here in the garage.
Okay, so let's go back to the warehouse section and look at that door.
Okay,
sounds good.
All right, so you go back to the warehouse, and you go to that small, not as big as this door, small door that was on the end, and and you open that up, and you find that it is full of what appears to be military style barracks. I mean, they're basically all the like five mattresses on levers that they're like 2 feet of space between, 1 foot of space between your nose and the mattress above, they can all be folded up, against the wall, and, lots of lockers, and there's places for, for showers and toilets and things like that. And,
very good.
And there's a door at the end of it, a couple doors actually, on one end of it.
Yay,
and
more doors.
Right, you want to open those doors?
Sure.
Okay.
Did anybody left any stuff here, like maybe left like a book or a briefcase on their bed, or?
Probably there are some things in here you could find. Not a whole lot of things, because, like I say, people, if they leave, would take their stuff, but there might be some accidental things left.
An old deodorant stick.
Maybe a pair of sunglasses there's someone's like, I don't need these anymore.
A single sock.
Yeah.
A left glove.
I'm sure the deodorant would have evaporated.
The right shoe.
Well, one shoe. one right flip flop is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Sure, there you go.
Couple of tarnished razor blades and
a couple coat hangers.
And trash
any
cans.
Books or journals or.
There might be some books. I don't think you'd find any journals. You'd probably find at least one Bible. And maybe.
I mean, like a books about this place.
Why don't you roll for it?
Or about the stuff they're doing here.
Yeah. No. Actually, you would not. You give me a luck roll.
2.
You didn't find anything useful.
Or even like contemporary magazines, which might have big articles, saying Zamboni announces new plan.
Actually, no, you don't find those in here at all. Okay, this is obviously a barracks that is, and everybody seems to be on kind of the same level. So you get the feeling that this is like the enlisted person's barracks, so to speak. You don't find any porn in here, by the way.
That's what he was saying.
No naked lady calendar.
No.
Yikes.
So there is a calendar on the wall, showing these nuns in prayerful, pretty faced nuns in prayerful poses.
Interesting.
If you're living on your knees, or if you're living on a prayer,
that's right,
you're living on your
very
knees.
Catholic here.
They look like they're on their knees. Maybe that's all it takes, right?
Mike is Catholic. Oh, okay, I got on. Sure. Mike's Catholic.
Are you Eastern Orthodox?
I'm not trying to break you, Kaitlin. Anyway.
Okay, so what's in the next door?
Okay. The next door, like I said, there's obviously
Two.
a stairwell, and then there's another set of doors, and across the way it says women.
I open it up.
Right.
There's no women in here.
Yeah, but it's another barracks, and it's in slightly better condition. And there actually are tampon holders on the walls next to the sinks, and there's a few extra things in there. For example, there's no urinals in the toilet section, and
Pants with no pockets.
right.
Hey!
Now you said they said there's stairs. Is this the stairs we saw already? Or
No, this is a new set of stairs. Yes,
Do they go up or down?
they go up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
this is
looked
one
in my Data
level
Buddy.
above the garage. So from you're looking at the garage, you're pretty sure that the garage is below these barracks. So
Wait a
apparently
minute.
they have gender
I thought it was-
separated barracks.
I thought we had the workroom with stairs that went down to the warehouse,
Yes.
and then from the warehouse we had the reactor room, the what I'm going to call the HVAC room, and then they had the boiler and.
That was all in one big room.
Okay, so we had the reactor and boiler in one room, and then off of that we had the garage.
Right. And
then
above the
through
garage apparently is the barracks.
But I thought we went out through the
you went
warehouse.
You went back to the utilities room, went up to the warehouse, went down to the door on the end, opened that door, and you went into the one end of the male barracks.
Oh, okay.
Data Buddy, show me this approximate location on the map, and then show me the room above it where the stairs probably go to. Or the floor above it where the stairs probably go to.
It basically says, I don't have information on the area directly above us.
Oh.
I guess we go up.
Sounds good.
All right.
Where there's stair lead.
All right, you go up, okay, and basically there is a door to your right, okay, and and by the way, there's these doors on either side of the width of it, okay, so there's two sets of stairs going up, and they're going up to, so there's a door on the right, like a level up, okay, and then they continue up further, all right?
Oh, so it goes kind of like this with a door over here.
Well, you're going basically as you're going up. Yeah. There's a to a landing. There's a side door, and then it continues going up. You know.
Okay.
Switch back. You know. So yes. So do you want to try to open that door?
Yes.
Okay. You open that door, and you find a long passageway. Okay, that goes that way, and on either side of it are basically doors, okay, but these are not pressure doors or anything like that. They're regular doors, and they have signs on them like chief engineer, doctor, other things like that. Yeah, that's something I forgot to put in here. I guess that's going to have to be at the end of this. So basically, various,
department heads.
Basically, department heads.
Yeah,
they seem to have doors, to things that have labels. All right, the far end of it is it really should be. I'm trying to think what would be a better place to put this. No, it would be, that would be a level up. All right. Anyways, so yeah, just apartments, basically. Big surprise, right? Open
are
the
they
door.
Rooms or are they offices?
They're actually rooms. They're actually little apartments, and they're not very big. They're only there's like a bedroom. There's like a little office, their own bathroom with shower. Okay, a little kitchen sink, hot plate, a closet, and that's pretty it. and there's not, there's just stacked along the lake. But it's like a huge step up compared to the barracks that you saw below, where everybody was cattle called together.
The difference is an open bay barracks and an individual barracks room.
Say, want to be nosy to see if anybody left anything behind? At least in a couple of rooms.
Or not?
No, all right.
Nobody wants to do that.
I mean, I'll peek my head in and see if it looks like there's anything. You said it was pretty cleaned out, so.
Well, you just open the door, you flick the switch, okay, and you'll see that all the beds are made up, and things are straightened up or whatever. There might be some stuff left somewhere. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying but you each in this case you have. These are individual rooms, which means that one person is probably paying attention to getting everything out of the rooms. Is that going to be better or worse than having like 20 people looking around doing policing on a room?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop open the locker, or like the cabinet, the wall locker, whatever you want to call it, the wardrobe, closet.
Yeah.
And then like look in the desk drawers and stuff like that, and just see if there's in the chief engineer's room. How about we'll start there?
Oh, okay, all right. You find a slide rule. You find
I haven't seen one of these in a long time.
It's made out of wood.
Oh my gosh!
And
I found
high school
a thing, which I have no idea what I know what it is, but I have no clue how to use it.
Yeah, there's some ink.
Long time for me.
Yeah, there's some. There's a bunch of pencils, and a sharpener. Some art erasers. There's some paper. Obviously ruled.
Is it all brown from the age?
Yellowed is probably more accurate. Yeah, it is. But anyways, there might be a few things here. Okay. But mostly it looks like looks like a place where someone could go and work privately, but maybe that's not its main function. Its main function is to give somebody a place of privacy. Anyways, there's going to be like a bar of soap in one of the showers. Might even be like a little bottle of perfume in one of in one of the closets or one of the drawers or stuff like that.
Toss it to Angel. Look, OD toilet.
Yeah, big big cross in each room on the side. And
kind of beats you over the head with religion here.
And a phone, by the way, an actual phone that can be. There was a phone downstairs, by the way. It was it was
on the wall.
Section. There was a phone on the wall. This one is actually a phone on the desk.
It's a nice big heavy receiver that you could kill somebody with.
Yeah. Basically, you could pick the whole thing up and just bash somebody's skull in. Right. So, anyways, the floor in at least one of them has actually like a carpet on it.
Oh.
So Angel got mauled by the carpet.
Yeah. So the if you look under the bed, beds, you will find basically a paper clip set of notes saying things like "Don't forget," and then it has a whole bunch of notes in there. Like basically somebody's like checklist, except it's like hand done.
What does the list say?
Okay, so it says check check grease on one says grease on elevator rails, and of course one is check do head count on nurses. One says make sure that check has been deposited. Send secure message to Vatican command of final status.
Send
and
mom and dad letter
yeah,
from home.
Yeah. It says cancel life insurance policy. Just a whole bunch of random things it seems, but like somebody like put together this list, that they wanted to make sure these things were done. They were all kind of like, nothing, terribly like nothing that would make you think that they were like a spy or something like that. It was more like, okay, like someone's own personal list of my number one things versus what I'm really supposed to be doing here.
Knowing Chen Wei, they'd still be a spy no matter what to him.
Right. Anyways, but there you'll find like a one mitten, as you say, like one sock,
right,
wool sock, and you'll find maybe there's a some wire, a spool of wire tucked into the back of something. Wire, a couple of disintegrated rubber bands, a packet of paper clips. Just nothing terribly useful. Like I said, it looks like everybody left with everything they cared about. And so, but obviously this is where the people, the other ones they really weren't like made up or anything. They had bedding and stuff like that in shelves, in cabinets and stuff like that. Here, all the rooms look like they've been made up for someone to come in at some point. And all the names, there's a place for a name tag, and they're all empty for each room. It just says like chief this, senior that, whatever. Right. So this is obviously where all the uppity ups got to actually have their own private room.
All right then.
All right. So and then there's the next room. There's the next. That's all. Then you can go up the stairwell up to the next level.
Yay, stairwell.
You guys ready to do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go up another level, and basically you come out into a large kind of office-like administrative type area. It's over on one side. You can see something that looks an awful lot like a doctor's office, sick bay, kind of thing. It's not. It's like close to where you are, but it wasn't the first thing you saw when you looked in from the corner. You look over. There's a number of tables that have places to put things out. Projectors on them. Pull down screens, possibly some film projectors and things like that, chalkboards, no whiteboards or anything like that. They're chalkboards, okay? Mm-hmm. You do see the door. They went out into the hallway that you originally were looking in on. That you go out that door and immediately to the right is the control room.
All right. It seems like we missed something. I'm not sure what.
There are a lot of cabinets in here, okay, and a lot of
cabinets. All right,
things like that, okay. So you want to start searching in here?
Sure.
Okay. You find a treasure trove of information. Basically, what you've been trying to find all this time. Okay.
Yay.
There are detailed. There are Gantt charts. There are detailed plans of operation. There are maps of the world. There are various filed messages from various parts of the world, and there's a lot of information. Okay, so you know, and so this is going to take you quite a bit of time to go through in here. Okay, obviously everything is put in here is left so that anybody who came in who actually knew what they were doing would be able to pick up where they left off with things being pretty much where they expected them to be in a professional filing type thing. So, you know, they do have a card catalog here.
It's the
as
library
well,
again.
you know. Right. Like I say, there's lots of chalk and stuff like that and erasers. The air, by the way, is in this room. The air is blowing through vents and things like that.
When we were down in the rooms, I tried the water in the sink and the shower, and do they work? Does the toilets flush? Okay.
Well, it's like you turn the taps and you hear clang, 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 and then spittle starts coming out, and then it starts flowing. So obviously there was a lot of air in the lines and stuff, you know, but they do evacuate once you open the taps up.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't mention, and I should have, okay, is that down the same level where the barracks is also the kitchen. I should put a mark there.
Okay. Mess hall days.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a kitchen and a small mess hall. And by the way, that's, you know, you could take, you know, there are lots of trays in this kitchen, so obviously they could be food that could be taken up to those apartments, or people could probably eat at their desks and stuff. So you know, a lot. You know, there was a fairly large supply of coffee, by the way, in the kitchen.
Anybody want some coffee?
Yeah,
still good.
And plenty of and plenty of stuff for doing. Well, it actually was a significant amount of stuff for like doing. You know, you could do field surgery in that sick bay, but mostly what you were seeing was lots of gauze and bandages and plasters and things like that for the, you know, things having to do primarily with electrical burns and crushed, pinched parts of human bodies and stuff. A lot of a lot of aspirin and types of things like that. There were places for things like morphine, but those are all missing. Apparently, they decide that they shouldn't just leave that kind of thing behind.
Well, and it would eventually go bad, probably.
Probably.
Like antibiotics only have a certain shelf life, and
especially antibiotics, especially things like insulin or whatever. They do have a refrigerator there, like it's designed, you know, for stuff. But I mean, there's, you know, nothing, very limited as far as any kind of like testing purposes.
It's a clinic.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just saying is that, you know, there's it looks like they have the ability to collect blood, but not really store it. There's no like big freezers or things like that. So probably if they needed blood, they would tap the personnel that was there at the base. So anyways, so, but more importantly, say up in this upper level with operation, there is an office, you know, for Zamboni. As a sign says Zamboni on the outside of it. Okay, and there's also another and there's a bunch of, you know, other people and such. So you go in, you start searching, and like I said, it's going to take you a while to work through this stuff. But basically, when you go through, you basically find out there's lots and lots of information in Zamboni's office, you know, as far as calculations and things like that. And
wonderful,
you know, very, very obscure types of mathematics you've never really seen before. But there's but there's also like a lot of information about things that need to be done. So essentially, there are when you go through it, you find out that there are a couple of projects that were in operation here at the end. One was apparently they had to test the Zamboni uplift, okay, before the church, the Pope would commit to it, okay. And so what they decided to do is they said, well, when we uplift all the water, there's going to be an awful lot of water in the air. If we want to actually be able to see the top of it, it's going to be about, and apparently it had to be above the level of the mountains. It actually had to be in open air. What they ended up doing is they ended up actually creating a core of Mount Everest and essentially lifting a column from the inside of the mountain up to put the top of Mount Everest actually above the top of where the water was supposed to be. And then they had to build an elevator inside that core. And that core itself was being held upright by a Zamboni standing wave inside the actual mountain of Mount Everest.
Wow.
Okay. And so it basically, it lifted, they had to cut all the way up to the top of the mountain, and then it lifted all that up, okay, and held it basically above. So you had this 2.5 mile high column of stone sticking out from the top of Mount Everest, okay? And they actually have some pictures that are on some of the walls, framed on the walls that are very faded, but you can see a little bit of it, and it's just literally sticking up in the air.
Wow.
But of course that is now underwater. That column is underwater, and it goes down into the actual mountain, and then this area is below that point, okay, where the base is. So it's when I told you it took a long time for that thing to finally get to the top, it took a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, so you're like saying, so they basically had to prove that the Zamboni uplift would work by lifting a column of stone, basically the core of Mount Everest, up a couple of miles, supported by this standing wave, so that they could believe that it could actually hold up the water.
Does it go into how they did that? What they used to lift the standing wave? I mean, how they built?
Well, the standing wave was created by basically these emitters, okay, that were at the base of where the column was. All right, and those, and that emitter created the standing wave that held up the mountain, held up the core. Okay, and give me an intelligence check on that, Jason.
Okay. Different dice that I haven't used yet. Yeah, D6. A 6 exploded. Got 8.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You're pretty sure that strange thing you found down in the utilities room that you weren't quite sure what it was, actually is the thing that went to the Zamboni emitters that created the standing wave that lifted it up. But once the standing wave was created, they basically detached it and took it down and just stored it in the utility room.
Well, there you have it, Chen Wei. That thing was an emitter.
Yeah.
It wasn't an emitter.
Okay.
It actually it went to the emitters.
So this is not the Zamboni's invention. I mean, it is, but it's like
It's part of it. Yeah, it was
a
a
relatively mundane part of it, is what I meant.
It was a power distribution device that basically sent the power out and to
the boner.
to the actual emitters. Okay, which means that those emitters are actually in the elevator shaft someplace. Because there'd be no reason to remove them. Okay, looking further, again, amassing all this information, it looks like the way this thing was supposed to work, and apparently did work, is that there are thousands of these emitters that are all over the world, or at least there were. Okay, and they were all attached to fusion power stations, who basically turned them on, and when they did that, okay, they did two things. One is that they created a column, basically, what did they call it? I called it a column, yeah. Basically a standing wave column that was emitted from each of them that went up and then basically spread out over the entire planet, creating that basically the sphere of standing wave energy all the way around the planet. But it was fed by like thousands of these things. All right, that was the first thing that happened. Okay, it created and only this one column that was created with that at Mount Everest actually penetrates that standing wave that's up there. Okay, so so then each of those columns, standing wave columns, produces is then wrapped around it from the same generator, wraps around. Basically, it's like an egg carton, except it stretches all the way up miles out. Basically, it goes up around the water that was in the ocean. So these things all had to be placed at the bottom of the ocean, including the Marianas Trench, including a bunch of other trenches. So basically, the lowest points of the ocean in the various parts, they had one of these generators, these emitters. I don't want to use the word because the generators were the things that powered them. All right, so it produced a standing wave. Basically, imagine it like a fluted wine glass. Basically, came out from it. Okay. And went up, okay, and basically went into the standing wave that was already around the planet, okay, basically merged with it, and then and the size of each of these cells also met the size of other cells that were around it. So all the ocean was basically sectioned off. All right. The bottom of that standing wave met with that column standing wave that was initially created, that went up and created the Zamboni uplift around it. At which point, this flute basically started ratcheting up that standing wave column. All right, and it and basically got lifted. As it got lifted, it got shorter. It kept merging until finally it went all the way up, reached the standing wave above it, merged with it, and all the water just flowed out on the outside of the standing wave. Okay, and and then at that point, the column basically didn't quite deactivate, got absorbed by the big standing wave up above the planet, and basically leaving nothing on the bottom except those emitters. They're just sitting there. And everything is now being held by that standing wave around the planet, and all the water is up there, and they're just, sitting
There
down
are
there on the.
schematics for that here, are there not?
Oh yeah. There's basically there's all the schematics
I
about
apparently didn't
creating
look at
a
any
standing
though.
wave.
We didn't go into this room.
No, this is in the.
This is the admin building.
This is the admin section. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That nobody went into yet.
No.
Yeah, this is the first thing you guys went into.
Question.
All this information is there, basically, and it's also in Zamboni's office, things like that. So there's
Is there? I have once you're done with your question, I want to ask my question.
Okay.
Can this same process be used to create possibly a planetary shield system?
Well, in essence, is a planetary shield system. I mean, whatever it takes to break through. It's supporting all that weight of the water,
right?
And it's approximately 3.5. I'm sorry, it's approximately 12,000 feet thick. The ocean up there is around 12,000 feet thick. So it's supporting all that weight all the way around the. So if it can do that, it probably can protect. I don't know if it can protect against, a planet killer asteroid, but a lot of things could be protected against.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, it looks like it should be possible to create standing force fields.
So my question is, the name of the guy that they said that freed them and brought them to the surface, is he listed anywhere in a employees or a job list or department heads or something like that?
Well, he's the head of the project, so yeah.
Not Zamboni, the guy that they said brought them freedom or whatever.
The Russian guy.
About the guy that was the geologist?
Yeah, the one that brought the slave race to freedom or whatever that they were all
who has
about.
the grave that's on the very top of the
mountain.
mountain.
Oh, okay.
Is he listed in the I don't even know what the hell you'd call it, the roster of scientists or employees or whatever?
Okay.
Actually,
he is listed as the person who's in charge of setting up all the ecological necessities of running a world without any sunlight.
Does he have an office up here?
He does not, because he's supposed to be working elsewhere. He's supposed to be working around the world and running stuff there. So he doesn't have an office here because he's not really supposed to be working here. This is all about making the standing wave.
Well, he figured out how to get these people up there, so that's what my curiosity was.
Yeah. So there's that.
Maybe there's an elevator somewhere else.
Well, you imagine it's probably a. You're talking about Georgy Gauss.
Yeah.
The Soviet-Russian biologist, right?
Is this something that would be easily visible, if there was one?
One what?
Georgy Gauss.
He's a person.
Oh.
And that it was listed as that there was a grave for this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up there on the side of the top of Mount Everest, which you now know is actually was lifted another 12,000 feet up from where, because it was originally like 18,000. The mountain's like 18,000 feet tall,
right?
And they lifted up another 12,000 feet. So like 2/3 of the mountain got lifted up, making it even bigger, even higher. Yeah.
They're stronger than Superman.
Right. It's definitely listed in there, as far as in the documentation, various jobs that people had and stuff like that. Okay. But this, it's only referenced obliquely in the sense of, he's in charge of this, or because there's someone else who was in charge of moving people to building the cities in the ocean basin, moving the people and stuff like that. So it was, this is his job didn't start until the Zamboni uplift actually happened, because he couldn't,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, he was doing design, he was planning and all that stuff like that, but actually implementing couldn't happen until he, other than test cases, stuff like that, couldn't happen until they actually, did the uplift.
Okay.
So anyway, so it was, so that guy is listed in the documentation, but it doesn't seem like he was really part of this whole process that was going on right here. That was Zamboni and
Okay.
his team and crack
Sure.
scientists from all over the world, but not having to do with ecology.
All right.
They weren't really seen to be concerned about that. They were concerned about lifting, metric tons of water, metric
Right.
miles of water up out of the, around the world. So anyway,
Under the water, towers of water.
and
There's water at the top of the ocean.
Now
Yes.
one thing that you do understand by looking at this is apparently the what they call the standing wave is actually a fractal, which allows it to twist and bend and take configurations that are not 90 degrees and things like that. It also allowed the other secondary standing waves to merge in with them. So it has a lot to do with fractals.
Fractal geometry.
Yeah. All right.
Down in Fractal Rock.
Ah, very good.
All right.
Now, they hadn't discovered fractals in 1950 in our world, right?
Right.
I don't know when they discovered them.
Well, actually, you can look that up in Wikipedia.
We could wiki that shit.
1975.
So wiki.
But remember,
so he was a man ahead of his time, though. So.
Well, lots of things were ahead of their time. Remember, this is a world in which basically the point of convergence or divergence was around 1200.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they speak Latin here, so.
They speak Latin, and they basically didn't have a lot of wars that are in Earth Prime's history.
Right.
So, some things did. They didn't have. Did they or didn't they have slavery? I don't know, because certainly there was plenty of the. How did the church feel about that? I don't think they said one way or another about it.
Right,
So
because well, I mean, they said they were slaves and they were freed from the darkness in their slavery. So
right, but
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly a lot. The people, the southern plantation owners thought themselves good Christians, and they had slaves. So I'm sure.
Well, the racists think they're good Christians too. So.
But but it appears that slavery went away about the same amount of time because of the revolution. That that's basically having somebody picking cotton was anywhere near as efficient as having a Whitney jitney. So
yeah,
there a lot of people went the route of saying, okay, they're not, we can't afford these slaves anymore, so we're just going to free them.
Well, the funny part about that was, if you think about it, like was it Musk that was talking about building a human robot to do like a humanoid robot to do like some tasks, and I'm like, well, so you're going to spend millions of dollars on this humanoid robot when you could just hire someone for $12 an hour to do the same job?
Yeah.
I mean, it's economically unfeasible to imagine all these robots working in your house.
Welcome to the world of Idiot Billionaire.
Well, okay, there's a lot of I mean, there's been lots of stories about essentially a robot is a device that's created to replace the work of a man. And I
Right.
would, and somebody could just as easily argue, say, we have a lot of humans doing jobs that robots, that purpose-built machinery would have done better. But there's
Right.
still things that only humans seem to do well, or have the flexibility to have multiple
Right.
things that are going on. And maybe a human form robot would make sense in those regards. Okay, so
Sure.
when realistically though, it wouldn't be a good stable lifting surface. I mean, we could make better robots that did designed for a task
Yeah.
rather than
right,
some human shaped robot to do all sorts of tasks like
Yeah.
that we currently do, because it doesn't make any sense.
I think
Goes to
that
pick up a heavy box, falls over.
Yeah, I think, well, I think that ultimately the people are going to realize that trying to create a human form robot is essentially trying to create a slave.
Right.
And so therefore they're going to rebel against it in some places. In other places, people are going to embrace it. So it's just, it's hard to say. Enlightenment has not gone the route I expected it to. So
Right. I mean, in some situations, like excuse me, in like factory construction lines, like building autos and stuff like that, having a robot that can go in and weld all these spots. They do it quicker, they do it more accurately, they do it fast, just
Right.
that all makes sense. But having like a
Right.
robot with a welder do the exact same thing that a human would do, that doesn't make sense unless, you have to worry about
I remember
toxic environments or something like that.
Yeah, I've lived long enough to remember them making motherboards
Mhm.
over in not Taiwan, and
Right.
where they hired like young teens to do the work because their hands were small and they could do the welding, and that's how they did a lot of the early computers that came out were all done like that cheaply or whatever, because they didn't have to pay children hardly anything. And these kids would come out after school and they would do this, and they work for an hour, and then they'd give them a 15-minute break, and they just collapse at their workstations and just do nothing, and then go up and do some more. And that's how they brought home money for their families. Okay. Later on,
Oh,
when
wow.
they got optics, when they actually got like the ability to like program stuff, computers got smarter. They said, okay, we can create an optical system that knows what a good weld looks like, and we can have that attached to a welding thing and have it go over there and just do each one perfectly every time, and we don't have to have little fingers involved in this anymore. Let's fire all these kids. And they did. But I'm just saying, there's always a period where it seems like this is a better idea to use humans for this, because the automation hasn't caught up with it. And then when the automation comes, there's always somebody who says, but what about those families that no longer have income? But in fact is you were abusing these kids in the first place.
That's okay. They found jobs in shoe factories.
Yeah, right. So I'm just, so anyways.
I understand. I remember when they used to build TI computers here in the state, or calculators in the States, and they were all built basically by hand. It's like somebody sat there and soldered all those little connections onto the board, and then somebody else put the keys in the thing.
A much higher rate of failure than they did later on, because they got it all down to a science. They got the machinery got better. Same with cars.
Just remember,
same with everything.
Every computer is programmed by a human for the most part. So
yeah, and
I know I am
by the lowest bidder. So yeah,
right.
I mean, anyways, I worked in the area of business intelligence, and we had all this programming and smart stuff going on in the background, but it still took human eyes to basically look at the data and what we had created and say, okay, well, this means this. These factors are important, and they change from month to month. And so humans were still needed at that point. But there's I've been told that there's most of even in BI, they said, hey, you want a function? Just go and type in what you want into this thing, and it'll try to make the function for you. See if it works. 9 out of 10 times it would work fine. So,
Right.
but it needed somebody there to say yes, no. Hey, so I'm just saying, let's, the whole thing. I think that all these things having to do with slavery and such come down to either A, you just want somebody that you can treat like a slave, okay, or B, it's an activity that you don't want her doing,
Right.
because you think it should be
Well,
done by a flesh and blood thing, okay, or
right. But like things like lettuce picking, I mean,
Yeah.
you could have a machine do that just as easily.
and probably better. Yeah, I've watched some of these big combine things where they're literally they pull this stuff up, they run it through a machine. The machine knocks, basically gets the head of lettuces off, and as they're falling down, okay, into a hopper to collect all the waste, they have these little legs that go pop pop pop, and they just pop them into the place where the heads of lettuce are actually supposed to be, and stored and then put in little baggies for your supermarket. I'm just saying this is all very clever stuff that somebody had to create. So but once it was created, you didn't have to keep creating it. So at some point, I'm sure that every form of harvesting will be done by computers, some kind of mechanicalized device.
I agree. I'm just curious as to how they spread out these millions of uplift devices and where they made them at.
Well, they made them in various factories,
right?
And they spread them out all over the ocean bottom. So they actually had to have submersibles that took them down and set them down in the water, which is one of the reasons why it was all solid state. Because they couldn't have it. They could, because you saw in some of the things they still had tubes and stuff, but in the things that they were doing, they couldn't have anything. They had to have everything
more reliable equipment.
Able to take pressure, or at least equalize pressure. So there was that kind of stuff going on. So I'm sure there might be some inventions that you could, by just looking at the choices they made about how to get things that would be able to operate at 2 miles of depth, or maybe they had to operate inside their own little bubbles or something like that. But the point was that they made these devices. They operated from the, at the bottom of the ocean. They created the fields. They were being powered by cables from probably by underwater cables or whatever, or they had fusion generators attached to them in some way. Anyways, I didn't get into all the nitty.
Right.
Adventure. I mostly saw them as these big power plants you saw going along the edges of the water. They're feeding power down to these emitters. So, anyways, but the world's a big place, so like 9,000 emitters, still not a whole lot.
No.
So anyways, so but they lifted up all the water and put it up on the top, and that's how it happened. All right, and so when that happened, of course, you had all that water all around around the big core of Mount Everest that was sticking up, and so and maybe that stabilized or whatever, because it seemed very stable when you were on. It didn't seem like it was shifting with the waves or anything like that. So all right. Anyways, so that's what you find basically. This is the whole thing here. Okay, you find all the plans as far as the diagrams and everything else like that. It's all stored here in this thing. I mean, in most cases, size. The basic process of doing the first uplift and then enlarging it to because they use multiple uplift devices of multiple standing waves to do that, to prove that these things could merge together and form just one. Okay, so there's you would find multiple emitters at the bottom of the elevator shaft, but the fact is that there would be one standing wave that's actually holding up that big core sample and keeping all the water from rushing down into the elevator shaft.
Right. Is this all like on microfiche and stuff? Is there like a microfiche catalog
Some
or?
of it would be on microfiche. A lot of it is
All
just
right.
in big fold-out diagrams and things like that.
All right.
I'd say collect up as much of it as we can, and
yeah, you can certainly take pictures of it.
I mean, even if we had to take, the actual physical data back, but yeah, we could take pictures of all the stuff and grab all the microfiche files and that they have and put them all in and like find a box, put it all in there, and that way we can take it back to IDET. I mean, they'll be interested in it, and they'll definitely have bigger brains than us to look at it.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Here you go, scientists. You can science this.
Here you go, scientists.
Right.
The real science people.
Yeah, the real science people.
Okay.
The hard science people.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So do you
Not that kind of hard.
Do you have
cheese.
do you go back up to the top again and do more exploring? Or like I said, this is literally taking you, I would say, at least a week. I'm gonna roll a D6 and add to a week. Okay, so that's a total of 9 days to basically patch this all together, because when people were there, they all had their jobs, okay, so they all knew their job and how to do it and how they integrate with everybody else. You're literally trying to put this together.
Our way through it.
It's like trying to figure out where's the beginning, whatever.
With no pictures.
Where's the beginning? Where's the
there's
end?
plenty of pictures, but
again, we don't have an IKEA manual with pictures showing us where to go next. It's like
right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. So there actually is degraded. See, they probably would have taken that with them. I say it's there. There might have been some film of the original Zamboni in the elevator shaft, but
the experiment.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have actually had it, as far as what they were doing at the end. When they were actually running the Zamboni uplift, that was all done through computer screens and switches and programming and things like that. So it was mostly a big process of integration, making sure that everything happened.
So do we figure out that the control room controls these emitters?
The control room did control the emitters, yes.
But so once that standing wave exists, it's there permanently.
Exactly.
It doesn't need further powering or anything.
It doesn't. As a matter of fact, it's now up there and nothing is connecting from the Earth to it, except that you have this one place in the.
So if you destabilize that central core, then the whole thing will come crashing down. Literally crashing down.
Well, it's theoretically possible that you might have water pouring down, but
it would be like a keystone, essentially.
Well, you have that standing wave that's going from inside of Mount Everest all the way up. So that means that you might have water pouring down, but it would take a long time before that would
pulling the plug at the bottom of the ocean so it all drains back down to the earth.
Yeah, it would take a long time for that. Because it's not like it would collapse. I mean, the standing wave is still going to exist there.
I see. So it'd be more like a spillway in a dam then.
Yeah, it'd be like somebody basically
draining a planet-sized bathtub.
Well, okay. It's like somebody upstairs, has a shower, and the shower has a drain pan underneath, and the drain pan cracks, and it starts dripping down onto your ceiling. You're in the apartment below. Right. Initially, you hear this tapping sound, but you don't think anything about it. And then finally, it starts dripping down. You can put a bucket under it, and it'll keep dripping down, but it's probably not going to get any faster than X number of drips per second. I'm just saying, taking that same idea and moving out the entire. I mean, eventually they'd have
until
to do
until the sheetrock gets saturated enough and the whole thing
It collapses, right?
right, except
I
for the
had that
fact,
happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where you're basically, taking an example and pushing it too far. I'm just saying is that it's like poking a hole in a balloon, and it just slowly lets air out. Okay, it doesn't like collapse. Okay, there's nothing. At least the whole point of this was they had to convince everybody that this was solid, and even if something bad happened, it wouldn't cause a failure throughout the entire plant. Suddenly, you didn't have 2 miles of water falling from 5 miles. It was 3 miles up or whatever
Right.
down and crashing into the everybody and just filling up all
So,
the seeds,
so
all
they
the
had
tins
to,
and things like that.
convince people, even if a group of pesky Fringeworthy tamper with it, you'll still be okay.
Right.
This was
Exactly.
Yeah,
Zamboni's
you'd
idea.
have. Yeah, there's actually nothing in there on how to disrupt it. As a matter of fact, everything about it looks like that it would be really really hard to disrupt. Basically, it's saying that what you're able to see, it looks like you'd have to, like I said, get hit with an asteroid
Mhm.
Well, that
in order to
sucks.
disrupt it.
Oh, wow.
And that water could possibly prevent the disruption from happening. That 2.5 miles of water,
Mhm.
Hmm.
it might still not disrupt the Zamboni uplift. So I mean, it would have to be a concerted effort by somebody trying to do this, and it would be hard because a lot of energy went into creating this. So you'd have to, put a lot of energy into trying to destabilize it. I mean, we literally, every nuclear fusion power generator, not every, but I mean, most of in the entire planet was going into doing this uplift. They
Right.
wanted this uplift to be as stable and strong as possible for obvious reasons. So they could basically, and it seems like they were very convinced because there's no evidence that they came back in the succeeding 200 years.
Right. It's been
So
solid ever since. So,
they've been happy
Yeah,
with
there
it,
you go.
so in Zamboni's office, do we find anything like behind pictures or anything that might say where he went or what happened to him, or
Yeah.
because he just disappeared?
Or what he was.
Yeah, it looks like he actually had a friendship with this Georgie Goss.
Ah.
It seems like uh, he had apparently he had dinners with him. He was he seemed to keep to himself pretty much, except for his own family.
Mhm.
And of course lots of meetings with church members and executives. I mean, all the movers and shakers of the planet. Okay, but the only person that seemed like he actually did spend any time as a friend with was this Georgie Goss.
So now we got a question: who is
Okay.
Georgie Goss?
Yeah, why him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why him? Well, obviously he was
Of some importance.
some. Yeah.
Maybe they both could have been Fringeworthy for all we know.
Or maybe neither of them were.
Then what? Then how would they? Then I was gonna say, then how would they have gotten the orange orange crystal? But they could have found the orange crystal.
That's exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, there's
but
no.
your experience was that it needed somebody who was Fringeworthy to make the orange crystal work.
Yes.
Well, he could have been Fringeworthy and not known about the Fringe path too. I mean,
Oh,
That's true too.
that is
That's
possible.
True.
I mean,
Sure.
there's no guarantee that
Or maybe
just because you're Fringeworthy, you'll ever find a Fringe path.
Well, there are lots of people who were born Fringe on Earth Prime who didn't know that they were Fringeworthy until after the
Right.
the Fringe path was discovered. So yeah, they were still Fringeworthy.
Yes,
They just
me.
didn't do
Yeah, me.
didn't
Yeah,
do anything
right.
for
Yeah,
them.
sure.
Right.
And there's also the fact that the over on the on the Victorian world, the guy that there's been a lot of question about the fact that the guy that is the head of the big, where the Fringeworthy portal, the main Fringeworthy portal is there, and in the middle of that Congo animal refuge. Okay, and he's like in charge of it. He's like Lord Greystone, and but his man Shropshire is also Fringeworthy. It's like, how do you have two Fringeworthy people that close to each other in an area that's as underpopulated as the Congo is? It's like, how did that happen? So there's a big mystery going on about that.
Sure.
About how the two of them are both are both Fringeworthy.
Right.
Pure coincidence.
Yep,
or something is making them Fringeworthy.
Something might be making them Fringeworthy. Something that nobody knows.
That sounds too devious.
Yes. Well, there are secrets. There are secrets and secrets. Okay.
There are
But
things
anyways,
that we don't know.
right. And when IDET, and when they did discover the portal in the Congo, shortly thereafter, somebody miraculously discovered a crystal that was used to secretively find Fringeworthy people in the Empire, which is how you got Tejas. And nobody's telling nobody in IDET's been told how that happened, but they have their own crystals as they've been out exploring. They were out exploring 6 months before IDET was.
Right, and we know that IDET has a number of crystals enough to like have more than just us as a team.
Well, the initial crystal was found with the body of Captain Oates
under
the ice by Señora Tanuma, and she used it to find Fringeworthy people and bring them to the big announcement her father was doing at the UN, basically keeping it from being a big worldwide secret. They basically like put out, they basically put out all the information, big explanation, big thing about climate, stuff like that. Everybody was listening. And he says, "Oh, and my daughter here, has an alien crystal we found, and these are people that can use it." And they're all like, "So what?" Like, and you can't just shut down, the whatever, the feed from the central chamber of the general session of the UN. Everybody's screaming, wanting answers like that, and they went on and explained what all happened. Right after that, all of a sudden, everybody's showing up at on White Island, trying to claim it for themselves, except that there were already people there who had to do with the initial thing, and everyone kind of got together and said, "We're not going to let the big boys claim this." And so rather than having a war over the portal, they put, after about 36 hours of some tense situations, the UN flag was raised all over the camp, and everyone says, "Okay, fine, we'll share. We'll share."
Okay, we'll share.
They say is
we have
children.
to.
The Russians and the Americans, and the Japanese especially, since it was their team that found it, but they were using Australian Arctic experts. And Arctic experts as their not Sherpas, but you know what I'm saying, their expeditionary personnel to get them out there to do what they were doing, And of course they had help from the Americans, because there's a base like 20 miles away, the one
McMurdo.
Base. So yeah. Anyways, it was tense for about 36 hours, and everyone just kind of got over themselves and said, "Okay, fine, we'll just make this a UN thing."
All right, well, it's pumpkin time for me, so I got to be up at 5:30.